What's going on, everyone? My name is D. Anthony with evolutiontraders.com. In this video, I want to bring up one topic that gets thrown around a lot, that a lot of people deal with and a lot of traders struggle with, but yet don't really know how to overcome and break through. Now, we've all kind of heard of people having trouble with a lack of confidence. Maybe you have a hesitant trigger finger to get into the trades because you don't trust the markets, this, that, and the other. But I want to talk about something a little bit different, and I want to talk about overconfidence, because a lot of you traders are overconfident. Now, you can be overconfident whether you've taken $1 million out of the market or you've never even taken a penny out of the market. And here's what tends to happen a lot of the times. So what happens a lot of the times, and I see this especially a lot in the prop firm space, where traders are trying to go through an evaluation process or they're recently funded. And what tends to happen is, let's say, for example, you are trying to get funded with a $50,000 account, okay? And let's say the profit target is $3,000, because most 50K accounts are $3,000 profit target. So you kind of go through this area, you have a green day, you have a few winning trades, you have 2 green days, you have some more winning trades, you take a loss, you have some more winning days. And then what tends to happen is you start to get overconfident. And what does that mean? Overconfident means that you're following a system, you're following a strategy, you're following some type of process, you have some success, you begin to get unhappy or not satisfied with the results. You feel that you've put a lot of time into the markets. Many of you have been trading for years. Many of you have still yet to break the profitability threshold. And you sign up for prop firms, you feel that it's a good idea, which I 100% agree that I think prop firms are probably one of the best things to kind of hit the trading industry since zero commissions. And the reason why I think that it's highly beneficial is because it allows traders with a level of discipline, a level of skill, to be able to take money out of the industry without necessarily needing capital to put up. Okay. Now, if you have no idea what a prop firm is, or you guys have never traded futures or Forex or anything like that, then this is going to go right over your head, and that's okay. I'll make another video for you guys later. But the problem with overconfidence is because here's what tends to happen to us as humans. So we get very fixated and we get very obsessed, right? So we stare at the charts, we show up to the markets, we take our trades, we learn this strategy, we learn that strategy, we learn how to read price action, we start learning about different indicators, we learn about all of this different stuff that could benefit us, right? All of this stuff, supply and demand, whatever you want to call it, right? So you learn all of this stuff. Now you become emotionally invested because you've spent so many hours watching videos. You've spent so many hours reading books. You've spent so many hours in trading communities and Discords and on Reddit and on Twitter. You've spent so many hours feeling like you're working, right? Like you're educating yourself, like you're getting better. And then what tends to happen is the market goes into a little bit of a cycle where it's a little bit easier to make money. And you necessarily don't need to have the most perfect entry. And it seems like your strategy is hitting and it's winning and you finally have broken through. And then you get a day, some would say like today. Today's the 19th of December, where the market did close higher than where it opened. But the market also didn't really provide a lot of follow through, and there was a little bit of chop and there was a little bit of slow price action. And then you give it all back. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, you give it back in one trade, you give it back through over trading, you give it back because you start revenge trading, and you let one day ruin everything that you've started, everything that you've built. That comes to overconfidence. And what I want you guys to take away from this video is that no matter if you have a green trade or 10 green trades, whether you have a green day or 2 weeks straight of winning days, you are always going to have to overcome days like today and days that are worse than today, where price action sometimes is not going anywhere. Today we had a little bit of a push higher. But you're going to get those days where the price action goes down, puts in a new low, and then snaps back, puts in a new high, and then goes sideways, and then puts in a new low, and then traps shorts and puts in a new high. You're going to have these days in the market. So how you get around these days is not by figuring out what your strategy is working on or not working on, but it's figuring out what you, John, or you, Larry, or you, Dave, or you, Tim, or you, David, whoever you are out there. It's figuring out what you are good at and what you are not good at. And if you are not good at being able to sit on your hands and identify that it's not a premium day, this is trading, boys and girls, right? This is trading. Not every day is going to be a tradable day. Every day the market moves up and it moves down. It doesn't mean that it's tradable. You have to have ranges and you have to have channels that are tradable. And it also has to align with your strategy that's going to allow you to be able to take those trades. And a lot of you guys just feel like, well, the market's open, it's moving up, it's moving down. I should be able to find something. If I'm not able to find a trade, what is it? It's got to be my strategy. My strategy doesn't work. I got to find another indicator. Maybe I'll take this setup instead. My normal setup's not working today, so maybe let me try this one. And what happens when you normally typically start to deviate outside of your process? You tend to give back cash. You tend to have losing days. You tend to take 5 steps backwards after you've been crawling 3 steps forward. And I want you to understand that it's not the strategy. I want you to understand it's not the market's fault. I want you to understand it's nobody's fault but yourself. And that's not to be harsh. It's to be completely realistic. If you don't get to a point where you understand that this business is the most you versus you business on the face of the earth, you are going to have a tough time. Okay? Because the only thing that you have is your edge. And I want to let you guys in on a little bit of a secret. Your edge is not going to work every day. Your edge is actually going to play tricks on you, and it's going to trick you, because you're going to have these days where your edge, meaning your strategy, is going to tell you right now is a perfect opportunity to buy. And this is a perfect area to put your stop loss. And it's going to trick you because it's going to force you to get into the trade, and it's going to do the complete opposite. So it's almost like a spouse that you've been with for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you trust her or you trust him. And one day she walks out that door, he walks out that door and does something to you that you never thought that they were going to do to you. That's reality. Reality starts to set in. So what do you do in that particular situation? What do you do? So most traders, what they do is they tend to abandon what got them to a certain level, and they tend to seek something else. So just like that spouse, just like that boyfriend, that girlfriend that walked out the door, they are seeking something else. You're going outside of the box. Typically outside of the box, and again, don't get me wrong, but typically outside of the box, the grass is never greener than where it was at, okay? Sometimes it is though. And with trading, the same goes. Maybe the strategy or the edge that you are using isn't necessarily fit your personality. Just like someone, a spouse or a significant other, doesn't necessarily, after a length of time, fit your personality. You grow apart. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. It doesn't mean that, all relationships fail, because there's someone out there for everyone. There's a strategy out there for everyone. There's a time frame and a time to trade for everyone. So if that kind of went over your head a little bit, the main thing I want you to take away from this video is that most traders are overconfident, and they tend to deviate from their process by sizing up, by taking new entries that are outside of what got them to that place, and that causes them to lose money. That is due to overconfidence. You have to treat this market in a respect and in a manner where every day is not going to be the same. And you have to be okay with that. And you have to be okay with, just because the market is open, it's not a premium day. It's not a premium session. Meaning you're going to have something that deceives you. Okay. So you're going to have a setup and a strategy that you trust and love and followed and back tested and have studied for hours and hours and hours, and she will or he will deceive you. Your strategy will lead you into failure. That doesn't mean that you let it go. And that doesn't mean that you start seeking other fulfillments, other strategies. You have to stick to your process. You have to stick in your lane. You have to understand yourself. It's you that needs to walk away from the computer screen, not you need to take another setup. It's you who needs to identify in real time and be self-aware what you are doing wrong. Don't be overconfident and don't lack confidence. Try to keep yourself in the now. Try to keep yourself in the present. Try to keep yourself in reality. Because the minute you start overthinking, the minute you start going through a million different indicators and strategies and setups and worrying about the price and worrying about slippage and worrying about this and worrying about fill times and worrying about limit orders and worrying about where's my stop and worrying about where's the previous day high. Focus on one thing. Let's master one thing at a time, and think about a construction worker with a tool belt. As you get better at that one thing, as you get better at using that hammer, now you add in a wrench. Now you add in a screwdriver. Now you add in a Phillips head. Now you add in a drill, right? So over time, you learn to come to terms with adding more entries and setups. But a lot of times traders want to find a million setups and a million entries, and they want to be on the right side of the trade, and they want to feel like because the market's open that they should be able to read the price action because they've been studying for days. And the market was choppy today and it didn't give me any moves, and I can't believe that my setup didn't work. And well, how come I followed my strategy and I did everything right and I still lost? Because guess what, guys? That's the name of the game. If you are not okay with doing everything 100% right, and that's to say you're not making any mistakes, because half of you, matter of fact, 90% of you make mistakes. Today, I started a new trading combine with Top Step. I made 3 mistakes. I oversized, I overtraded, and I sat at the computer screen too long. Yes, I was profitable, but not the way that I wanted to be. Because I still brought stress on myself. I want this game to be boring. I don't want to stress. I'm too old to stress. You're too old to stress. You're too old to worry about if you're going to succeed or you're going to fail. You will succeed when you start understanding that failure is a normalcy. Okay? So what I want you to do is, instead of being overconfident, I don't want you to lack confidence. I want you to trust your strategy, number one. But I don't want you to be overconfident. Just because you had one winning day because you followed your system and you tried this new strategy out, or you tried this new time frame out, you were trading the 5 minute, now you're trading the 1 minute, and you have a success on the 1 minute today, that does not mean that the 5 minute doesn't work. Maybe the 5 minute doesn't work for you. Maybe the 1 minute doesn't work for others. As soon as you find what works for you, I want you to stick to that at least for 20 trades. And then I want you to analyze it. Don't analyze it after one bad day. Don't analyze it after 2 losing days. Don't analyze it after 3 losing trades. 20 trades. Come back here in 20 trades, doing the same thing, having confidence and trust, getting rid of the uncertainty, and not being overconfident where I'm doing pretty good. Let me go ahead and put on 5 contracts instead of 1. I've had 4 winning days in a row. Let me go ahead and let me try to take this new setup here, because I heard that this person does it as well. Give back everything. You stick to what works for you. You stick to what's comfortable for you, and you test it over 20 trades. I want you to come back here. Matter of fact, I challenge you. Come back to this video after 20 trades. If trading really means anything to you, you're going to subscribe to my channel. You're going to bookmark this URL, this video. You are going to come back here after 20 trades and you're going to tell me I did 20 trades. This is what I've been doing wrong the whole time. I figured it out. Thank you. Or now I understand what I've been doing wrong for years and it just clicked on me. Or I see what you mean about me getting overconfident or lacking confidence and trying to go outside of my tool belt. If I have a tool belt down and all I have is a wrench and a hammer, but I need a screwdriver, how can I do the job? I'm sure I can MacGyver something. I'm sure I can figure it out somehow, but it's not in my tool belt. So why am I going to waste my time? What's in your tool belt as far as processes and strategies and trading rules? What's in your tool belt? And how well do you use your tools right now? Have you taken money out of the market using your tools that you have right now? Or have you been looking for new tools? I want you guys to really think. I make these videos to make you think, because when you start to think, that brings you self-aware of what's really going on. Because we tend to, a lot as traders, get in our heads, we get very emotional, and we tend to. I hope this video makes sense. If it did, like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one.